victory. That just means that right out of the gate, this is as close as we possibly could have thought it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it's really interesting to have that tie just because of what it's going to do to the scores moving forward. Obviously very important for FaZe, who come hot off the victory at Epicenter where we were at, to be looking on form. And NiP, I think they beat them online in a couple of matches that they had to play while they were here. And that's a kind of interesting conversation as well, because I think they felt probably pretty confident going into the game, came in with a tie, which is, in my opinion, still a pretty big performance for them. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how NiP face up against Astralis, a team that is going to be feeling as good as FaZe, probably, but a whole new challenge.
Right, most certainly. And keep your eyes on this kid right here. Rez, hands down the highest rated player for NiP on Overpass specifically. You know, he's got a lot to do. And you can actually draw a parallel between him and Glaive for Astralis, just on an individual basis. These two guys love themselves some Overpass. And right now we've got NiP pretty jointed up towards the bathrooms, working their way closer towards A. Speak of the devil, Glaive is down. Put to sleep immediately. Magisk flashed off of the angle. Now he tries to connect some shots, but he will only get the third. Although he lets those two players cross. Zipex is going to go to clean them up. And okay, Astralis, you've got yourself a pistol.
I was going to say, I love the setup from Astralis right out the gate to have long control at first. You know, I always talk about how, as a T, you want to make sure that you know there's no CTs holding from long, because you cross into the site, then you're at that crossfire between truck and long, and NiP didn't clear that, but they did get the opening kill. So then you think 5v4, they can get in the site, they'll be able to get the bomb down, it won't be a problem, but there's Magisk to hit a couple of the cleanest shots that we've seen so far today. Very, very nicely done. Let a couple pass just because, and then hit two instant one-taps. Super well done. Obviously, Zipex coming out of a tough rotation spot to complete a couple of kills of his own.
So NiP will take one on the chin. Just going to let this one slide before they get themselves into the buys device with a couple of headshots already. Not even letting them get up close and personal. So, I mean, they pick up a couple P250s. That's all they're asking for. Launders, a frag or two. It's not too much to ask for. But Astralis want to give away nothing.
No, it's going to be a tough road. Every single frag. And Dennis and Get Right both go down instantly, leaving just Allegro, the IGL of NiP.
I'd say a welcomed addition. I love watching NiP as of late. You know, it's kind of nice to see them re-emerge. And there was a nice little piece, I think, from the content we did at Blast Istanbul, kind of seeing NiP talk about Forest, right? And I didn't realize it, but I guess it is true to say Forest is one of the players who has taken his skills from previous iterations of Counter-Strike and made it work in CSGO. You know, so consistent, even after all these years. Yeah,
many have fallen. That's no doubt about that. Astralis clean up the anti-eco, 5 alive. Very important to point that out. Not easy to have a 5-player survive. They also invested in 3 to 4 rifles, actually, so that's a different take on winning your pistol round. We saw Cloud9 try to pull out 2 USPs, an SMG, a gun or two, but this is a round where, okay, if you think you're going up against Glocks, you get all 5 down. You don't upgrade anything. You even have the UMP, which is totally viable on rifle rounds depending on your position on CT side, and it'll be curious to find out where Glaive would like to play with his UMP, if he can finesse a kill at stairs or try to do something aggressive elsewhere. Have a tack pause potentially called, though I think it's a bit early for a tack pause.
It would be, Launders. We haven't even had a gun round yet.
I feel like if you had strategy, it would be enough to last you for the first few rounds before needing to call a tactical pause.
Yeah, you'd hope. If you have to take a pause in round 2, then I feel like we've got dire straits ahead.
You've got other problems.
Mo money, mo problems. Mohan Launders.
What's my last name?
Govindasamy.
Close. Sami.
Sami?
Yeah.
Govindasamy.
I think it means God.
Okay,
just the last part. I did not.
All right.
I'm not referring to myself at all. Just
I don't know about that.
Wasn't trying to put that idea in anyone's minds.
It was already there. Don't worry.
Right. That's what I thought. So.
Blonde God.
That's right.
Blonde God Mohan.
When you're good, you'll tell people. When you're great, people tell you.
That's true.
And when you're God, everybody knows. Or something like that.
Something along those lines. Get us into the buy, folks. I can hear pauses being called off, Launders.
What is that? What is that ticking sound? You know?
That's the,
yeah.
That's I feel like that's something important because after we hear it, the time ticks down to 10 seconds left. The buy time comes to a close, and we've got AK-47s across the board. So thanks for bearing with us, folks. An early tech resolved. Tip of the hat to Messioso and his team of admins.
Get right, the lone soldier for NiP, moving over towards B, looking to take short control all by himself. He might just be testing the waters, throws a Molotov down to see if anyone will cross or extinguish it to try to get some information here. And there is a player prodding at stairs. That's I think that might be Glaive. Yeah, I think so. Dupree. We got there in the end.
Yeah, we'll get there. You know, it is just the beginning after all.
And then Get Right does actually get out. So I don't know if the Molotov was extinguished or not, but he seemed to have enough information to feel comfortable doing this by himself. And now he's actually moved into enemy territory. The CTs on the right side of him are going to be the first targets, but he's got his eyes focused on Pit.
Right, he's being pretty adventurous here. Fully exposed, wary of a wraparound. But no, that's not the case. Astralis just doubling up on the exterior of Monster. We've got Glaive spotting over smoke. We've got the support grenades coming over the shoulder. And all the while, long A still remains entirely in the control of Astralis.
Totally
Get Right's been dealt with, and that's going to leave these Ts to try and split into A. But Dupree's position not even revealed yet. He'll have to duel versus Rez. He gets the best of him, and a 5v2 ensues. Not a good look for the Ninjas.
Definitely the round comes down to long, and it's always nice when your second point of contact gets the initial kill, because then you can play the bait setup and not have to worry about getting hard peeked or flashed.
Yeah, that's the bait on the end of the hook. Just ropes them right into our man Magisk.
Oh, interesting. They've gone quite aggressive to look for information, and NiP have made 2 kills of it. Right, but they do so at a point in the round whereby there's just no time to cross. Bomb's been dropped over towards bathrooms, and this one belongs to Astralis. Dennis, he goes down after time. That's a big find. That was looking very nice for NiP in those closing moments to be able to surmise 3 kills, but then to lose one after time is not worth the trade. I don't think having a player lose and not get any money after the round is too big of a hit to justify, I feel like, but at least they got something. So NiP, what do? Electro saved his gun. The rest of them don't have much money to work with. It could incentivize a force up. In this situation, we don't see that. We do have Astralis with a significant firepower advantage, as indicated by the top bar on the screen. I think it's much more interesting, instead of seeing the numbers, just to see how much one team has compared to the other. As you would normally see with equipment value. Just because the actual number is not so, it doesn't really tell you much, and focusing on that I don't think is very helpful, but just knowing in general, like, hey, NiP have 20% of this bar. They are, they're about to be dominated in terms of firepower. Interesting, very fluid setup from the CTs as they have a double barrels connection going on. Don't know what their course of action is, but it's clear that NiP are now focused on hitting the B site together.
Right, AK included, so it would seem, but Lekro will go elsewhere. He makes a bit of a ruckus inside the short water, and now he'll get adventurous towards A. But unfortunately for him and his team, they haven't actually established this map control early, so they have to sniff out the corners, try to scrub out any Astralis players that are nearby. First and foremost would be Dupree, that he catches Get Right as he exits the staircase. Now, Dupree's side is open versus Lekro. All the while, still the Ninjas prepared and poised to hit that B bomb site. Lekro begins to fire off. That's going to call Dupree back around. You'd think he's got him down, and he does. Device will find it from the site. 20 seconds left over, and NiP get desperate. Finally, they look to sink their teeth into the B site. They cannot get anything past this pillar. However, Rez has found a head. Will he get the plant? That's all they're looking for. And he doesn't even get it. Magisk just soars through the skies.
Yeah, did he do that in the air, or did he get?
I think that was in the air.
The sight box. Oh well, he got away with it. A little wallbang damage is all it took, and Rez could have easily gotten a plant there. I feel like he should have been able to get that plant, considering he got those 2 very nice 1-deeks. And
he deserved it.
Yeah, he deserved it. If there's anybody who deserved anything, it was him getting that plant down.
That was a big deagle shot right there.
No doubt about it.
Let's watch Magisk. Is he flying through the sky?
Oh no, yeah, wow. Oh my god. And the best part is he's just tapping.
Right, right.
Not even going for the wild spray.
That's a classic example of the bullet has to land somewhere.
Exactly.
And in this case, it denies the bomb plant. Will limit the cash of the ninjas, but they still come in with a very fruitful buy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. There's Rez with one headshot. Dupree immediately trade frags, and he's not going to feel all too safe. Neither should Lekro. Glaive just lurking in the corner. Keeps control of Connector, and then he pushes forward in order to get ahead of this man. Get right, drops down ladder straight into his death. Dennis tries to sniff out the man inside the smoke, but where'd he go? Dupree doubles back and will still be caught, leaving this one to the man advantage for Astralis.
And look, even though Dupree was not holding down the bomb site or trying to delay from there, the flank came out, and we were even in a position where the CTs could get behind them really quickly, but now it comes down to Zipex, and it looks like the shots are just ringing off for Astralis. Their accuracy right now is unparalleled. NiP cannot get a single trade to save their lives.
Ring around the smoke. Dennis takes the high road. Will get the duel versus Zipex, but it's traded, and folks, we're on fire as fast as we could be.
NiP have been taking their times these rounds, working it slowly, can't blame them, but there was a prime opportunity. They saw Device, they knew that he was up and up close, he probably has support. They tried to hunt down that support in Dupree, but they couldn't kill him. He was so slippery playing around the smoke and the pillar, and obviously Glaive getting 2 kills all alone as Get Right just comes out for the trade is massive for Astralis, and again, everything is just starting to align. The stars are aligning, and now they are also as on fire as they should be. Maybe we should add fire to the Astralis star just to kick things off, because stars are always pretty hot.
Because they're just giant balls of gas.
That's what they are at the end of the day, yeah.
Burning in open space.
We like to think they're not.
Mohan.
That's what it boils down to. This is the best start to a round that NiP have had so far, and it's on an eco, or a force up.
Look at the way they're just going to put the pedal to the metal. Start charging up through bathrooms. We've already got the rotators coming inwards, and they're taking damage, not to mention losses. Magis cleared thanks to the CZ, and as Zipex gets himself into the close proximity, he's not being given a target. NiP, they just kind of let off the pressure just a bit here. They're going to leave Dennis behind APC. All the while, Bomb moves down towards B. Do Astralis get ahead of this? Yep. Zipex has his eyes in position. Will spray away Lekro. An immediate kill versus Forest. Oh boy.
That's sick, man. And you know, we don't really appreciate how much confidence it takes to take a position like that Zipex does. He does that for the extra few bullets he can get of damage from heaven, but he puts himself in a position where he's committed. He has to hit a shot.
Right.
And you could just play back here like where Dennis is at the moment, maybe try to look for a kill, do a little bit of damage, but instead Zipex just wins the round, just completely ends the round by getting both kills, and it's all because he was confident enough to put himself up on top of the railing as opposed to far back, trying to play 1 foot in the door and 1 foot out.
I mean, in that 30th round of Astralis versus MIBR in round 1, that's exactly what he does from Banana on the B bomb site of Inferno. He's just standing out in the open, and he's standing in a position where you're not going to expect him to be. So you can see how, even though the first player is so caught off guard, the readjustment, like, what do you call that? How do you communicate to your teammate in half a second where exactly he's at?
Yeah,
you know?
He's up there in Swedish.
Up there, not only in the heavens, but the scoreboard. Zipex off to a fantastic start here on Overpass.
Looked like a late resmoke. I think it was just a flash that bounced off into short, but they've got control of it. They no longer want to pursue this avenue of interest, and instead will allow NiP to free roam around A in the bathrooms area, but they haven't gotten anything done quite yet. Another setup that we haven't seen so far. Zipex and Dupree, no, Device, sorry, excuse me, Forces Device, as the Opper with his right-hand man to the right of his scope. Now NiP have stairs control. That's one thing. They try to count up these bits of map controls as points, but Glaive getting a kill is worth more than any bit of map control at this point.
It's traded sure enough, but you're going to watch Zipex just slink back into a bit of safety. Has the support of Magisk, who jumps out from the heavens. While the utility comes sailing forward. NiP move off of it, however. It's an immediate couple of kills and traded right back here to the favor of NiP. Whoa, boy, Device. He is lucky to be alive, as is Dupree. So lucky, in fact, they might just count it off.
Yeah, they turn away from it. Glaive goes 1 for 1 on the site. NiP go ahead with the B execute since they were in position to do it. They will take the on fire status away from Astralis, finally picking up a round, making it 6-1. The save is going to be a problem for NiP, but they need to maintain these 3 guns as much as they would love to find a fight right now and take an op out of the round. They know that Astralis will rebuy it. There's not so much of a point in risking your own lives to seek it out, but as they get away from the bomb, maybe they take a few risks. Overall, pretty good entries. Get right, especially with those 2 kills, look extra sharp.
It's going to be important for him to come alive as well. I mean, as we went into that round, both Get Right and Forrest were still 0 kills, 0 assists, 6 deaths. So, you know, it's not a one-man show.
Yeah, avoided Bond status. I heard they're looking for a new Bond, though.
A new Bond?
Yeah.
You think you'd make a good one?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm just flattered that you even thought that I would potentially want to be one.
I think you'd make a better Bond villain, honestly.
Than who?
Than the hero.
Than the hero?
Yeah, you make a great bad guy.
A bad guy. Oh, okay. What, do you think I'm a bad person, or do you think I'm just, like, badass?
Badass.
Badass?
You've got the swagger.
Okay.
You've got those long arms.
Yeah, that's true. I can actually reach the TV from any part of my room.
No matter where?
No matter where.
Look at this guy.
Yeah. I could be sitting anywhere. I could always turn on the TV. That was before smart TVs, where you can control them with your phone. Now it doesn't matter.
Yeah, now you just clap to turn
My
it
long
on.
arms have become obsolete.
You are useless.
Evolutionarily pointless at this point.
But I didn't say it.
Yeah, I had to bring it up.
Launders.
Connor.
This round is beginning.
Okay.
The 8th is upon us. And what's nice to see is that NiP come into this with a nice and solid buy. Remember, 3 guys alive at the end of the previous round.
Yeah.
And therefore, they refurbish their purchase with a hefty chunk of AK-47s. We've already got an exchange of grenades down towards the B site, an adventurous stance from Astralis as they take short control. They're not going to have anybody in connector, but at least they've got some info for themselves.
So, with short control, NiP have not tested it, and this is Astralis. We're seeing this consistently, where they're looking at short control, but they're not actually doing anything about it. They are falling off once it's taken over at the beginning of the round. The thing is that NiP have been coming in late sometimes to use it for B execs, and that caused a problem for them last round. I think they're maybe waiting for the moment where NiP go full force into it, and then they can shut them down. But today, or this round, was not the one. Oh, okay, yeah.
Carefully, take a bottle to the back of the head.
That's never fun.
I'm getting flashbacks.
So they've actually left Zipix here. Oh, Lecro. Got to pick the times to scratch your nose very carefully. It's part of the game, too.
Yeah.
Is the store going to... But I want to... Oh, what happens now? Oh, the flash as well.
Nice.
The perfect combination gets popped right over his head. It seemed like Zipix saw that soaring over, but it was such a low-flying flashbang that it was extremely effective.
Right in the perfect danger zone. Get right. Ooh, left on his own as he comes out through Monster. Will be shut down, but all the while, NiP head towards A. 15 seconds left. And nobody is here to stop them.
This is great. This is when you need to dominate. They have the open sight. They've got the rotates that they were looking for. They might second-guess themselves and think, wow, our Astralis were really out of the sight. But yeah, this is where you overtake CT spawn, you leave some presence in bank, and that's a wrap. NiP win the round. They keep 4 up this round too, and Astralis really thought, they really bet on that B fake.
Right, that's like when you have a kind of a spoonful of food and you go to eat it, but before you can get it to your mouth, it falls back into the plate.
Oh man, that sucks.
I saw that happen to you, I think, yesterday.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm getting older, you know?
So
I've got shaky hands.
You do shake a lot.
I can't actually like hold a spoon without it like shaking. Sometimes it just shakes so violently it just like splatter food everywhere.
See, this is why you needed a duo partner.
Especially when you eat baby food. Have you ever tried eating baby food?
No.
It's delicious.
No, I
At
didn't.
any age.
Don't worry, Launders. If your hands get too shaky, I can always spoon feed you myself.
Okay,
We'll
yeah.
get through this together.
I was hoping not to live that long, that I would have to be, you know, treated like a baby once again, but maybe that time has come early for me.
The buy back in for Astralis immediately. Obviously, easy to cut your losses. They had 4 players alive at the end of that one. So the Op's still into this. We've got M4s across the board. Zipx gonna grab armor? Yeah. And some grenades to follow suit. And what a good teammate. Glaive takes the FAMAS off his hands.
That's a good guy. That's the guy that everybody wants to have on their team. And unfortunately, the guy that doesn't exist on every team.
It's the highest rated player for Astralis on Overpass is Glaive.
Molotov goes high. It's a really tough jump throw sometimes to have to run and shoot that. And the Molotov obviously will pop. Wow, will pop quickly. And unlike other grenades, I think a flash has a much longer pop time. Great spam through the wall for Get Right, and a lot of NiP presence over here at A very quickly.
Whoa. Oh no. Dupree can't finish off Dennis.
Oh my God, we've officially got a match now. I think it's time to say we've got a match. We've got a match graphic because NiP have won 2 rifle rounds without even killing 3 people in the last 2 rounds, getting the bomb down, having 4 or more alive, and so the round is theirs, the bomb plant's theirs, and now the economy's back in their favor, and so Astralis can't put them on a save instantly.
Both these teams actually have a higher T round win percentage than CT, so expect those lopsided T side scores. And seeing as NiP, we're down 6-0, this is good for them. Like you said, right, that economy is going to start flourishing. It's going to really set them up to succeed. This time they're going to try to take some guns back, though, not wanting Astralis to get away unscathed.
Interestingly enough, it's a post-plant situation where you would expect the T's to be on the hunt, but I think the roles have reversed where there's more incentive for Astralis, who have saved 7 players in these last 2 rounds, to try to get some kills off of this, but their money has trickled low. They don't have enough here to potentially buy. Missing 1 player on the screen right now. That player is Magisk Boy. Magisk, man. I don't know.
He's a man now, Launders.
I think it's just Magisk, but we can call him Magisk Man.
He won a major.
If you win a major, you're a man. That's pretty much you have to be.
Dennis, I mean, he's so lucky to be alive with that. Pops up like a whack-a-mole, but he whacks back. Now we're going to get NiP going fast into the B site. Already we've got those grenades sailing forward. Magisk set up to succeed with this 5-7. Sees a couple heads. Will be able to drop Lekro. There's the frag versus Rez and a third onto Forest. Hello and goodbye. Astralis, rob around.
Fair play. Go for the B exec. Why not? To have the smokes, you do running play. You know that they might force up, and then I think that's a great round to pull off a play like that. But conversely, Astralis picking a great round to stack B when you think that that might be appealing. Having the pistols here is big. You can see Magisk pulling off a pretty good kill, more than 1 actually, and using this annoying headshot angle over the top of the sight box, which you normally see CT sitting in, but can almost always eventually adjust your aim and knock them out. That round, that wasn't the case. Did a good job of sliding around, and Astralis win 1 back, but again, as we talked about, NiP still have some money left over. Still a little sugar in the tank.
What a cost-effective round for Astralis. That gets them right back into control of the situation, assuming they can win a follow-up round. But we've had some back-and-forth affairs so far in the round 1 of Blast. I'd be surprised. Oh, my. You know what, Magisk, he's not stopping.
No.
You saw how pumped up he was after that trio of a 5-7 frag.
Yeah, he's powered up. He might evolve 1 more time. Magisk Ubermensch.
Magisk what?
Ubermensch.
What's that?
It's like a Superman, but like a real life Superman.
Oh.
Just like just like I think I have to look this up, but it's got all the attributes of like all the best qualities of a strong, like, great man. Magisk Ubermensch. Doesn't roll off the tongue quite as nicely.
Thanks for teaching me something today.
Yeah, no problem.
The
It's important to learn things every day.
Oi. Device not letting Rez get away. Forrest doubles back, and he gets some more. Device's op is what seals the deal here in the 11th round, and let's move to the 12th now, as NiP will be either investing all that they have or just going for the curb purchase.
And we'll see what they decide to do. Enough money here for Get Right to be tempted into a buy. This is the kind of round where you'd have simple rifle up, but around that, NiP are more evenly spread across on talent. Maybe just want to spend a bit, even up, and do something kind of tricky, not too convoluted, but they have a smoke or 2, so they can try to make it interesting. Astralis go out to hold stairs early on. Instant wide peek is out, but there's no kill. Will there be a trade?
Yep, there it is. And all the while, Device has got another. He's covering the top side of Party while he's got his teammate inside Staircase, just holding off the entirety of this split. So NiP down to the 2v4. Bombs on the floor, and Lekro's here to support. Rez has that close proximity. And these 2 Ts will combine to at least grab another frag and the op on top of it.
That's kind of nice. They now have an out. A mistake could be made. We've seen Astralis get a a little frisky near the close of a round, but this is a great play, knowing where the last two players were for Xyp9x to push out of B, one of the most powerful pushes in the game. It's not as easy to pull off, or not as safe to pull off, I should say. As there are players that can be on the opposite side of Monster, on the right or left side, but today there were none. And with this information, Xyp9x can be a big flank. He can also hold down short if he feels like it, and if they go to A, there are 2 CTs laying in wait. Lying in wait?
Lying in wait.
Lying in wait.
Because it's happening now.
Happening at the moment. Present tense.
Very tense as we have NiP getting step by step closer. They're going to go for the 2-pronged assault. Lekro's being rather rowdy about all this. Glaive committed into the corner. Not going to be checked by Lekro, so Rez has it all to do. Scopes, and that confirms where he's at. He's not even going to get back around to the corner, so that is sure enough Astralis pulling the trigger in those last few seconds. 9-3. And NiP, remember, only had a couple pistols in the previous, will have a nice, hefty buy in this one.
They almost lined it up well. That was a good attempt from NiP, but again, Astralis, they can pick all their favorite spots when they have that man advantage and the push, all that information at their disposal. So, as good as the rounds that NiP won were, we're in another zone here. The last portion of the first half, Astralis are starting to walk away with things. So we can see the damage per round forced at 11 ADR. I mean, we're in the middle of a match. There's always time to bring it back. You never see someone finish with 11 ADR, but that is, obviously terrible. That is like he's shooting a foot every round.
Skimming the big toe.
Yeah, skimming, barely taking off a toenail.
The big toe is the important one, though. Helps you balance.
Yeah, so you could fall over if you get your toe shot off. If only this game was more realistic, like Red Dead Redemption 2.
Don't tease me.
Then maybe you could wound people. But we are not playing a game that is very realistic. We hype fire in this game. We have a crosshair permanently on our screens, and it is more focused on the mastery of accuracy, utility, and strategy.
That's a mouthful and a half. But you got through it, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you. So, a little balloon boost. Do something tricky here. I mean, all right, hey, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet. Oh my God.
So wild. We were just having what was our conversation just about? The realisticness of Counter-Strike?
Right, yeah. Standing on top of balloons.
I mean, that's got to be some...
That's a lot of helium in that.
Some prime helium.
That thing is chock full of helium.
Hup. Falls off in the end, though. So they get the confirmation. There's nobody over towards A. Nice attempt, but the defense resides here in the upside of the bathrooms. Down goes Dupree. Wave up next, and he will trade into the head of Rez. Blindsided from behind, Forrest doubles up on his kills. And now, it looks like the Ninjas will continue on closer towards the A site. The problem I see is the fact that there's 30 seconds on the clock. Bomb's only been picked up by GetRight, and he just has to run into this site.
Oh, yeah.
So Magisk, he's going to put down that Molotov over on long. That sections off 1 point of entry. And he doesn't have any help from his teammate in Device, but still looked like he could have held on a little longer. In the end, he falls. And that's just enough time for the plant to come through. Device turns tail. He's gone. That's a 4th one for the NiP.
Yeah, he'll almost never try something like this anymore. GetRight, as you can see, looking through the wall to see where the sound was coming from. And as they noticed, Device had turn tail and run really quickly. He's going to be all over this, however. Device, at some point, he's going to start walking, but he's not going to anticipate that. And that all comes from GetRight being very decisive as the bomb went down, just knowing exactly what Device would be thinking.
Right, with the amount of times that we've already seen Astralis save over there in the T-spawn/club.
Right.
He knew it was up, and he cuts him down. So, still not too far gone. 9-6 half, good enough, but not a reality, just a possibility.
Yeah, that could be good. That could be good. The rounds they won were good, so confidence should be there. Plus, it's just numerically like somewhat high. They come back from losing the pistol, the 5-0 start, obviously, so a lot of demons were dealt with in the comeback.
Be gone, demons. Be gone, Magisk boy. That's what GetRight thinks, but he can't make his play because the smoke blocks him off. And honestly, not a play he really wants to make because there's 3 CTs. Not 1, not 2.
Yeah.
3.
It's a whole gaggle of police.
All inside of the short water. They will start falling back as the smokes now fade.
Ooh.
Astralis, they're going to play actively.
There is a very similar setup for NiP, but on this round, this double push through short, very unexpected. Get right. Does he win this duel? He does get damage off on Xyp9x, and we'll have another target to refresh. Can't adjust in time, and Magic wins the fence fight.
Right, here comes Lecro's peak, traded effectively by Glaive. So, sure enough, that's 2 ninjas slain, and we're going to get this walk up to the A site. Bomb in tow. Dennis on the front line immediately finds Dupree, and that op duel is picked up to the favor of Astralis. They are staring double digits in the face. Rez tries to tap away at the heads, cannot manage anything yet, but will at least get 1 kill. 35 seconds left to go. He nails a third.
Oh my god!
What? Can he get it? No, but it's so damn close. Astralis will manage, but what a beast.
Oh my god, that just sent tingles down my spine. That was an unbelievable one tap. What a shot from Rez.
I
and
had
he
tingles.
almost pulled out the 1v4.
Oh, I had tingles too. Look at this third frag. It's a beauty of a headshot. Pop!
Oh my god. Again, in the replay, I'm just as excited. That is so unreal. And Device wins it with a USP. Jesus. I mean,
in the background.
Oh my god, the round is one thing, but that is a clip of a lifetime if he wins that.
Hell of an attempt. Hell of an attempt. Immediately, Glaive's going to pick up the heat. He wants to try to find NiP sleeping. They're still daydreaming of the clutch that could have been.
Yeah, that is a great time to turn up the pressure for Astralis. I mean, I feel like that's an optimal time to save if you're NiP, and now they don't have a lot of money to work with. They're down to just 2 players in the last round of this half. Get Right is going to go full Thomas the Tank Engine into B and take Magisk out. But is it just a consolation prize?
It's like the Counter-Strike equivalent of a Leroy Jenkins. Fortunately for Get Right, he's got nothing to do off of this position, just tries to fall back, would think that there's somebody nearby, and he wouldn't be wrong in thinking so.
Yeah, it's a weird lurk situation where it comes down to timing, and even though he catches Xyp9x off, he just doesn't have the health to hold up as Xyp9x readjusts. And Lecro in the 1v3 has information on Xyp9x, knows that he's somewhat low, but leave it to Xyp9x to find a new creative way to approach this last engagement. I would love to see if Lecro gets caught off guard, but he's actually circumvented the defense, moving into B now. A couple of nades in his hands. Will probably be offered up a plant if he has an inkling that Xyp9x moves off the cat. But look at this. Xyp9x is being proactive.
This is a round that they should still have in the bag. Frag goes out, softens Lecro slightly. He's got a player just beneath him. That's Glaive, who finds himself the kill. So that's an 11th for Astralis. We fantasize of the 9-6 that could have been for NiP. Seeing as they were down 0-6 at the beginning of this half, it's nice for them to have at least bounced back with 4.
What's messed up is if that 1v4 happened, then Astralis actually don't have much money, so they could have made that dream a reality.
Was the pinnacle moment of those last few rounds. But alas, we have swapped sides, and Astralis now find themselves on the offense with quite a substantial lead. And this is a team that we're talking has themselves a 71 T round win percentage, Launders. That's a huge stat for Overpass, I'd say, most notably.
For sure, for sure. Matt, for a long time, very significantly CT-sided, and that has swung quite a bit in the other direction, but still, the biggest problem is just NiP only winning, normally having very favorable T-halves, and now moving into CT side versus the #1 team in the world. No questions asked. That's Astralis, who are 5 away from sealing this up. B-Rush looks like it's going to be on the docket for for Astralis, excuse me.
Got the push in from the catwalk. Get Right cuts down the first one. It's quite the rapid ascent into the B site. Glaive and Magisk bring it back with a couple of kills of their own, but 47 health of the difference. Gush and follow-up frag. Dennis is down. The Pistol King, I think not. Magisk gonna try to take that throne. Whoa, the drive-by. Should be able to fixate on the player up close. He definitely heard the jump, but Forrest still puts him to sleep. And that is NiP at the very least with a pistol in the second half.
Tiny peek from Forrest there to make sure Zipic or Magis doesn't stand a chance. It was cool to see how he played that, you know, keep an awareness of both players, knowing that he realized they rotated into B. He had short for a second, so most likely there's going to be someone in pit, and found the guy in CT spawn and then moved over, kind of swung right into the pillar to make sure that if that pit player was waiting for contact to shoot, that he wouldn't have time to react, and then from there, isolating his 2 engagements. But it's a save for Astralis, so there's still hope here for NiP. And the buy is quite similar. 1 SMG, or 2 SMGs, and a few rifles. Astralis didn't get a plant off on that round. Our Glock saving here for the full buy in the 18th. And as long as this eco takes, time will fly by.
You know what's really scary for NiP here, Mohan? Is that not only do we kind of praise the successful T sides of Astralis on Overpass, but on this map specifically, in this entire event, they have the highest 4 versus 5 win percentage at 41.
That's an unbelievable. That's
nearly
absolutely absurd.
I
like
mean,
that's a.
Just to contextualize that, the next highest team has 27%.
Right. No,
and
that's
also happens to be NiP.
Okay, there you go. That's actually crazy. I mean, that's still very high. You know, that's just goes to show you that experience can really shine through. Ooh, does this bomb go down? The Molotov's a little late, and it does get planted. That's a big bit of cash. They'll take that all day.
Little injection of extra funds. Save it for a rainy day.
But that's such an absurd stat line that you just brought up, where 40%. I mean,
41%.
You get the 5v4. You know, we talk about how if you're the 5v4, you should the top teams win 80% of the rounds. Not versus Astralis, apparently. That is monstrous. That's I find that so hard to believe. That's crazy. But it would make sense considering how often Astralis win every game they play. So pretty fantastic stuff. Pretty fantastic stuff. Smart when they're even down in numbers. And NiP are going to be a little bit salty about letting that bomb go down versus just Glocks. But they're going to be more concerned about their performance in this round. The rifle coming up.
Yeah, this is when reality could sink in.
I'd like the update on Forrest's ADR. I would like to see, is it just to make sure it's not so low anymore. He's up to 8 kills, actually, so now got more than... He's on par with his team.
36%. 36 ADR. Right?
36 ADR, okay.
ADR is not a percentage.
That's true.
It's improving. It's always nice to see that improvement as well. Like when somebody has an incredibly bad first half, sometimes you just see those players completely out of it for the remainder of the game.
Yeah, the resilience, right? It's awesome.
Right. But we talked about him and his tenure as a Counter-Strike player.
Conversely here, Magisk, 111 ADR, looking sharp as ever.
Holy mackerel.
And Get Right also had a few rounds to himself. He definitely did look good in that first half.
Yeah, he was so consistently playing down towards like the monster side of the B bomb site. You know, I think that's a very crucial position when it comes to the T side of Overpass. Like if you have an opponent who very much feels those A executes coming, I feel like it's all too easy to just lock it down. So props to Get Right for at least pulling them down into the B site a couple of times. You know, trying to keep that defense committed to the cause.
We don't know what Astralis are going to come into this half with the plan of... What was that sentence? We don't know what Astralis are going to do in this half so far. We don't have the data on the rounds. We know how they like to play their anti-ecos. We know that we will see maybe something similar to NiP with the amount of bathrooms control that was going on with NiP. I was surprised to see how they played that, and I like it. It was just crazy that they recycled the same round over and over again and then just made adjustments based on what Get Right found on short, which is one form of a round that we see teams use on T side, but for them to do it almost every round that half and then still make up some really good rounds where they forced all of the rotations into B, they forced Astralis to save so often, I thought that was quite interesting. So maintaining all of that standard 4-1 presence, but then also pulling rotations into the other site. It's a very good sign, at least for NiP at that point. But now again, once again, we're into the second half. NiP, well, Dennis, somewhat elated. I think someone told him a joke. Who's the funny guy on the team?
Of the ninjas?
Yeah.
Forest.
Forest? Yeah, I guess
So.
he's the funny guy, I think.
He's got that, he's got that kind of nonchalant, dry humor.
Very quiet. Very quiet. But
Very
then,
Swedish.
Yeah, he's kind of like a skadoodle a little bit, huh?
Mind you, through my interaction with Get Right, Christopher's hilarious,
yeah,
too.
he's funny, too.
It's just that Swedish humor, you know?
Yeah.
It's like they're dying on the inside, but they're happy about it.
Right. It's a Nordic, yeah.
The Nordic flair. But here we go, folks. We're back into the action. We've immediately got that flashbang through the smoke. So, NiP looking to keep up the pace off of the pause. Can't put an end to their party. So they do currently have 4 players up here with Connector, Long, and Party itself in consideration. And this close proximity could be the way that they manage to find an opening pick, but Rez will just look to hold on to the fountain. The fire that he put down is extinguished by smoke.
I absolutely love the setup from NiP. The one difference, I think, from regular forward A setups is having that player at long as well as the bathrooms player, and he can just come in to try to do some kind of unexpected trade. Now they fall off of that because the presence is in B. The monster pushes out.
Into the site they go. Electro works his way around. He's been spotted, but not taken down. Still, that MP9 is up. Finally dies as Dupree extends into the water. Dennis quickly tries to peek off Graffiti in order to get back the man advantage, and sure enough, Forrest finds it. So it's a 4v4. And we've got NiP knocking on the door of the B-bomb site. Dupree can't whip around fast enough, and the ninjas have taken down a lot of these bodies. It is just Device left over, and there's the first headshot. Sees the player peeking around, and all the while, it is NiP with a defuse. 2 players up at the end. Here we go. We've got the ninjas on fire.
Not bad at all to have them on fire after Astralis did that so early into the game with a 5-0 start. Finally, NiP are getting some redemption. That is pretty good. And to do it on the first rifle round is one thing. To do it after getting completely jebaited, having held onto their A setup, which looks great versus what Astralis were up to. But then Astralis leaving at A to go to a B exec that came out quite quickly. So the rotates couldn't even come out fast enough for NiP, and still they won the retake. So really good recovery for NiP. Solid rifle round overall. Looking forward to seeing more of these rounds from them. And this time it's Dennis in the same spot, but alone. Hits a shot, but it's a little late. I think there was a kind of a gap in focus there where that was definitely an easy shot to hit, and he reacted quite slowly. Can't fall asleep at the wheel. Now just scouring the stairs area. Again, allowing for that easy rotation for the T's, controlling the middle of the map. Dennis has fallen back into that passive Dupree Device setup that we saw in the first half.
Rez still just in the corner here, Launders. He has not rounded the corner as of yet. And the difference between him and the setup we saw from Astralis is that the player back on A doesn't quite have his eyes in this direction. He will now, because we've seen Get Right walk up towards bathrooms, and Get Right's going to be making the next point of contact. Right through smoke he goes, cannot land the spray fast enough to double down with an additional kill, but still he will get one at least. And then the terrorists, they fall back into Forest. So it is all going good. Magisk walks out of the doors, and that is NiP with another.
Damn, looking solid. And man, I have to say, like, they are looking so strong. I feel like we talked a lot about their expectations for their T side, but their CT side is looking fantastic right now as well. So definitely looking like it's going to be a much longer game than the first half would have alluded to. Here's the rotation getting pushed back down the stairs after Forrest has retained short control, and a lot of players getting caught off there. Even Get Right flailing his spray at the end, nailing that first one was maybe a loss, going 1 for 1, but he got so much info. He got right in the middle of what was supposed to be an execute and totally compromised Astralis' plans. It's just pistols now for Astralis. Glaive has the only utility on the map for them. Of course, NiP in the power position, on fire. Rear end to go. We've seen Astralis pull off an eco once already in this game, but it'll be a new beast to do it on the T side.
That one smoke for Glaive still on his utility belt. But as he gets closer and closer to the B side, I can't help but feel like it does go sailing over. You can see Astralis, they were feeling out the bathrooms too, but now they've all doubled back into short. Bomb over on Monster. We're going to see these CTs start head stacking. There's 3 of them within the bomb site.
Oof.
They're trying to get eyes on short, and they haven't actually seen anything. All the while, we have Astralis grouping up outside. I mean, they are poised. They are prepared. And off of that smoke, they're going to get the execution rolling. Now, Lekro's got his M4 up over the shoulder. It's that closest player, Get Right, that I have to question. He's dropped to 3 HP immediately. Lekro cannot land a follow-up shot, so sure enough, bomb's on site. That's going to be a plant at the very least, and Dupree has cleared the closest player, but it's Rez with a quick couple of kills, and even the third. Lekro finds the last one, but that's all Astralis wanted. A bomb plant.
Yeah, and NiP gave it to them. They had to work hard for it, but just the bomb going down is not going to be the biggest problem. NiP 2 away from evening up, but didn't think I'd see this day, I'll be honest. I can now understand more clearly how they brought NiP, or brought FaZe into the 30th round. Playing like this, they look like contenders for sure. And again, one of 2 teams that we wouldn't anticipate have a chance of winning the tournament just with the amount of talent here. And yet they've already put FaZe on the back foot and are hot on the heels of Astralis as well.
But we've also seen MIBR versus Astralis. That was taken to the 30th round before Astralis. They broke their Brazilian hearts.
Fire down on both choke points in B as Moore comes over the wall into short, and there's a monster push.
Yeah, they're going to be trying the same as the previous round, this time better equipped for the situation. Sure enough, Magis with an immediate pickup will still be dropped by Forrest. He's locking down the graffiti, but the bomb could just be planted in the midst of this.
Oh, wow.
Get Right's going to play that cheeky position, and look at all this presence here from the counter-terrorists. Then everybody dies. It's into the 1 versus run. Get Right versus Glaive, and the bomb's been dropped down into the dirt. Get Right's on top of these boxes. He's spotted, and Glaive continues to try to duel, but the headshot connects, and it goes both ways. Glaive with the clutch, and Astralis another round.
Damn, they get the 1v1. It really seemed like NiP finally figured out what to do once there was so much like Molotovs and utility going back and forth on the B side. It felt like at the end of the day, Astralis had enough control. They'd put the bomb down to be a favorable afterplant, but then NiP came in all together, went tit for tat, and then left Glaive dinked in the 1v1, but he stayed composed, hit that headshot, no questions asked, and that leaves Astralis 3 rounds ahead now, and with a bye as well, but it'll be going up against one from NiP because they have done a fantastic job trying to come back in the second half and have some residual income to go off of. We had a bit of a match pause there to maybe reset the situation. Emotions were probably high. That's a tough round to lose, obviously. Not only to have a round loss where there was just so many trades that happened quickly, but then the 1v1 where Get Right heard the dink. He got the dink into pit. It's like, this is mine. I can even wide peek here. I can afford to take some damage, and it has to be Glaive to hit the first bullet, and he does commit to that and get it. So, and gets it. So that's, again, tough pill to swallow, but it's going to happen, and it'll happen more than once.
Look at this one, though. Rapid setup. AWP shot just skims over the head of the terrorists, which are now just trying to force this fight. But you've got to be cautious because there's that long peek that actually already manages a frag. That's Get Right. And as he lays down the Molotov, Magic's attention's been pulled in 2 directions. He doesn't know who he wants to trade, and then he's picked up by Dennis. Rez with an immediate additional kill, pushes this just to Device, and wow, the Ninjas charge forward in this round, Lauders. A one that mattered so much with the state of the 2 economies.
And again, it's not crazy to have forward aggression on Overpass, but the way that NiP are doing it is making it interesting. But Device is also making it interesting. He's brought it down to a 2v1. All these kills happen so early in the setup phase of the round that there's still a minute up on the clock. He has time to work and try to isolate these 2 1v1s. Problem is, not having any information means that there could be an innumerable amount of positions that NIB can pick from. And they can also push for information, knowing where Device was this entire time. Device now clearing all of the regular spots on the A site. Won't find an opponent here. Little does he know that long control is held and by an op.
Oh, he does have an additional few seconds if he wanted to clear anything else, but he'll just rely on the Molotov to prevent any sort of a peek. There's no CT past the bomb site. Ah, but he walks into the scope of Dennis. A slight gap between the corner and the APC is all that Dennis needs to pick up this round. So that's double digits now for both sides. NiP with a crucial win.
Great patience from Dennis to opt that up and hold down that angle. I think the spot made sense. Like playing the 2v1 as safely as they did, and you know the kill was offered up. Would have loved to see what happens if Device was able to get to the position he wanted to, though he did throw the Molotov right at Bank. So I'm not sure if he was keen on fighting the player who was there, pushing down the stairs, or just waiting for him to come out. But if he had gotten down there, that would have been a whole different ball game from NiP. Rotation would have been much more strained, although the info would have been there on what Device's master plan was. But again, this A setup has been so good for NiP. I'm loving to see this work.
Yeah, it's nice to see them not shy away from the aggression in a round that matters so much. Remember, this half begins with NiP winning 5 in a row. We finally had Astralis on the T-side board, and now that's been shut down. It's forced their hand economically, as they do have to stave off the buy. All the while, though, Device is going to be unleashed. He's got the pistol players ahead. They've got to be cautious if they head towards A. There is a heavy presence on the setup here towards long. Get Right versus Device, and Get Right gets the best of him.
Yep, he was just basically a little bit better on that engagement. The peak was there. They do have the liberty to reuse the rifle at the very least, so we'll now see it in the hands of Dupree. Get Right gets tagged up a little bit. His teammate low in the side as well. The rush might be pretty terrifying if you're the CTs at this moment.
Well-timed flashbang. Everybody's blind. Get Right does still get his gun back up in time, but now he's died too. And another damage off at the side of the truck. It's just Zipex, an incredible clutch player, but way too unequipped for the situation. That's another one for the Ninjas.
Yeah, good supporting flashes. Again, firepower is coming back into the favor of Astralis, but it's pretty even as it can be at the moment. And what will we see this time? Would love to see Astralis try to attempt to take down the A presence from NiP one more time. I feel like, you know, if there's a team that's going to be smart enough to figure it out, it'll be them. And Dennis hit one hell of a shot just there through the sight box to deny the plant and make sure the round ends early. But instead, this round, there's A presence from the Ts. It's not met with some from the CTs. Instead, there's going to be some presence traded at stairs. NiP and Astralis both have actually fallen off of this, however. Quite passive at the moment. Device is far enough that he knows that nobody has pushed up long. He is still worried about a boost that might come out. People have gotten quite creative about the way that they approach attacking players who are running up long, and it is a battlefield out there. It is so tough for the Ts to move up safely. All of this area has no cover in it, and that's why the Ts spend so much time trying to clear things out meticulously.
All the while, NiP actually sit on bathrooms. So holding on to a little bit more forward positioning. Would prime Dennis for a pick. Terrorists floating around these corners, but not into his scope. Not just yet, that is. There's 3 of them here. Very strong trade potential. But that volley of grenades goes out. The connector players come up to join. They should be clearing these corners, and they don't. They nearly line this up. Dennis up close. It's an off, not a shotgun. Still gets one at the very least, and Get Right resides within the smoke grenades on the bomb site. What a sneaky bugger. He's going to go for the bomb planter, and he will stop him immediately. The player comes out from behind him, trades effectively. 8 seconds up. Somebody needs to grab bomb. That plant not going to come in, you don't think, but Zipex inside of the smoke has somehow got it off. And with Lekro and Forrest, all that remains. No way he wins this clutch. You wouldn't think, but he falls back through Bank. He's got the Molotov and the flash.
The Molotov could be huge if he has the lineup available, and it seems like he knows it.
How has he managed this? He gets the plant in all of that chaos, comes off of it with an immediate headshot. Now Lekro's honing in on him. Zipex patient, misses the shot. The peak is over the top, and the kill goes to Lekro. Ninjas on the bomb. They've got another round, Launders. It is 12 apiece.
Not bad, not bad. And another 1v1, but this time NiP are not on the wrong side of the travesty. They actually pull it off, and that was quite critical for Lekro. It seemed like Zipex knew exactly what he was going to do and played those angles almost to perfection. It felt like Lekro's helmet was about to get popped right off just over top of that staircase, but he also had the Molotov in hand that he didn't throw. That was a conscious decision, but I think at this point maybe he thinks, oh, I should have at least tried to toss it, delayed for time, on top of playing the angle the way he did.
Man, oh man. I mean, that's the thing with Zipex. When you see him in those kinds of situations, I feel like he always plays it well. Like, he had a shot at that helmet, just missed it.
Oh, yeah.
It literally boiled down to just missing the AK shot. So could he have thrown the Molotov? Sure. Could he have delayed with the flash? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But he had such a good angle.
Yeah.
Because he's always positioned properly. However, you can't hit them all.
It's true. Positionally, it's, you know, he's always going to surprise you. Just very creative. He'll take a round that you've played 1,000 times and find that 1,001 way to play it. You know, he's always got something new up his sleeve, and that's why we love to watch and talk about Zipex for sure. But today, or this round, wasn't his round. Astralis are saving. NiP, oh my God, it's kind of like the NiP Navi, or the Navi Cloud9 match where it didn't seem like there would be an upset, but suddenly it's very real.
Certainly so. Here we've got two bodies already stacked up. Lekro commits to the spray down, sees another player, and that's his third. So the little that Astralis had to work with has not worked out at all. Rez all the while, gets aggressive back behind. Glave's gonna be tasked to clutch, but not gonna happen. There are way too many ninjas nearby, and that is them in the lead.
For the first time in the match, and
right.
It really didn't seem like it would ever come down to this. I wouldn't have bet that they even got 13 rounds.
Remember, this was an 11-4 half to the favor of Astralis.
And again, highlighting the T sides as opposed to the CT sides, but look, NiP are surprising. Best they've looked in a long time, and I love the setups that they're using. It's not, to me, like they're getting away with a bunch of free rounds, lucky rounds, nothing like that. It seems like they're totally earning these. They're reading the positions of Astralis really well. Individually, they're starting to light up the scoreboard as well. We talked about Forrest with 10 ADR. There's no way he's anywhere near that at this point for them to perform a monstrous comeback like this.
Right, we praise that resiliency, right? Take it round by round, half by half, map by map. Way too close to call any favorites here in Blast. Got a change of pace here in the 26th round. Things slowed down. All the while, Astralis still established this short control. You can see them priming their grenades, so this is going to be a rapid pop with the Molotovs towards Graffiti, which have been a crucial positioning for the CTs, but now they're within the smokes. It's just Forrest trying to deny any kind of a plant. He's got the cover, the secrecy, shrouded within it. He hears the plant just next to him, cannot do anything to stop it. He is blind as a bat. Now, as he comes out, will deal some damage, but not enough to keep this in the hands of the ninjas. It is Rez to try and clutch. Spots a body immediately, takes a bit more damage through smoke, so he knows. But Zipex connects it. 13 rounds apiece. Can Astralis convert? Because the last time they picked up a T-sided round, it was an immediate reset right after.
And it was after a 1v1 as well, so at least they keep 3 players up on this one, but that was still a nice entrance into B. They use this execute to totally isolate anybody playing the wall as well as anyone right side monster, which is kind of interesting. We're seeing these more cache-esque executes on the site where you throw these smokes down that actually don't allow you to plant default, but they allow you to plant close to pillar in the smoke. Sometimes you can get spammed. Forrest was unable to use the audible cue to find where to spam exactly. I think was fortunate to get the 1 kill that he did, but his teammates couldn't deliver after that. Now NiP are actually on an eco round, so not only will Astralis most likely be able to convert, but they might be able to regain a very healthy economy after this round, which is definitely what NiP are most concerned about at the moment.
And this is why I brought it up. I mean, no matter what, Astralis, they did such a good job in the first half. And versus MIBR, they crushed them at the final hurdle. It's not over until you see 16. Get right to reposition within the water. Here's the bomb plant just on the side of him. Will catch Zipex at the very least, but cannot manage another kill. Lekro, sure, he'll get one. But it seems like Astralis are far too in control of this situation. Lecro's gone. He's going to keep that AK. Consider it a consolation prize.
Honestly, pretty solid stuff both ways here. 2 kills is not bad for NiP. Retaining a rifle is not bad for NiP. And then as for Astralis, getting the bomb down, having 3 up, the majority up is not too bad as well. So NiP knocking on the door of defeat at the moment as Astralis pull it to 14, 1 away from match point, 2 away from closing it out and not getting a point, which is the most important thing. Obviously, being at best of 1, and then also, you know, not knowing that we're not going to be playing any OTs until the final match tomorrow. They will have to take what they can get. They won't have a second chance.
Oh, Glaive on a tear. I love that he just gets that next level of aggression, pushes forward, establishes control of the situation.
Yeah, never lets off the gas pedal.
You know, flexes on him. Asserts dominance.
Sometimes you have to. So there it is. Closing moments of the game, and the game so far have been fantastic. This one's obviously delivering as well. 2 rounds left.
Curiously enough, the players that we expect to deliver are also here, right? Before this map started, I mentioned Glaive and Rez for each of these teams are those players who are statistically above the rest. It just seems to be their kind of home turf, you know, a place where they seem to shine. And sure enough, each of those players at the top of the scoreboard. But who will join them?
Are we going to see another setup from NiP aggressive towards A? It's been Astralis to try to condition them to be afraid of Banana Monster at the moment. A couple of good nades to make Dennis afraid. Similar setup to where we saw him before. Missed that shot a little earlier on. This time knows that he's not welcome to take any free peeks. And that means that eventually NiP will have to give up on the B setup. It's going to be hard to rotate back to A. Dennis will at some point need support. And he's fallen back quite quickly, knowing that stairs could be taken, that Long has to be worried about, and that he's lacking information. So now we'll have a CT trail back up the stairs to offer him up a second point of contact. And Astralis, they've used this once again to condition NiP into being afraid of A, but then wanting to go into a B hit.
Well, we do have NiP working closer towards connector, right? They're clearing out the bathroom now. That is one of the things that could mitigate the fact that they have such little presence on B. If you have that fast flank, if you have that immediate rotation, then you're going to be good to rock and roll.
We saw NiP in this spot try to push through their own smoke at bathrooms to get in the middle of an execute. I feel like they're tempted to try that again. Seeing this Molotov, however, might give them a different idea.
Right. The flashbang falls in the back slightly. Forrest does connect it to the eyes, and then even a follow-up frag. It's get right with one of his own. Lecro, he's going to lock this down for the time being. Bomb planter in position, and it's NiP across the kill feed. Only device left up. 1 versus 4. 19 seconds, and you have it there, folks. It is 14 rounds apiece. Ninjas, even though they didn't have that heavy stack on the B site, they had enough close proximity to get right into the fray. Yeah,
and a new obstacle has been conquered with that hold on B site, and it's a lot more confident this time. They do it before the bomb goes down. They make it look simple, and it was NiP to have the rotates out to A. They had less people at B than they would have liked for this, and they started out the round with a stack. So you think strategically, Astralis get what they want. They fake some aggression. They did a little bit of damage to Dennis. They made him fall back. They made NiP second guess themselves, and then they did it at a good timing where NiP hadn't seeked out that information at A. And then they hit B, and still NiP came through with the hold, so that is huge for them. Astralis are actually going to go right into the buy. Galil here. I don't even know what Zipix is going to get. He's probably just going to go ahead get an AK and a couple of flashes, but the rest of his teammates are not doing too hot. NiP know that it's very likely that there's going to be some kind of force here, and they can do some fast math and know there's a high temptation to try to win this round. Again, letting a team get 15 is different from other games, you know, just because that is already a point that you can't get back.
Right. You're not playing for overtime. You're playing for that win, baby. We've got the head boost already out of the Ninjas. Magisk. Oh, this is a dangerous position.
Not sure if it was a silent drop there to come off the stairs. It could have been high enough. If that was the case, Magisk has tons of info, but nobody's here to peek. Dupree looking for prey.
You can taste the tension in this round. Both teams wanting to make some sort of a play. You've got that kind of basket setup from Astralis. anticipating aggression, but the aggression doesn't come their way. No, it goes into connector instead, makes 0 contact, and even manages to fall back without being spotted.
Look at this. Once again, they're conditioning them out of A, but they're going the extra level now. Last round, it was a couple of nades. This time, they actually pushed up to bathroom, so they're really selling it hard. That door swings open, however. NiP are now going to find out it's B once again.
Yep, we've got those Molotovs trying to block off ramp. That's not going to nullify anybody because the entirety of this defense sits back on Graffiti. Lekro now decides to throw himself forward, completely blind. That's an easy pick to the favor of Glaive. Forrest just tucks away beside Graffiti, and the bomb is planted off of this, but Rez is picking up headshots out of nowhere. Ninjas, they are going to be holding on to the 4 versus 3. But they're going to buy their time just slightly before this retake really gets rolling. Rez is the difference maker. Forrest chimes in with another couple kills, and that is it. It is Ninjas with a 15th at the very least. Astralis playing for a tie.
I can't believe it. They did it again. They actually did it again. They got the rotates they wanted to out of the round. Astralis find a new way to invent themselves and hit B, condition their opponents to be afraid of A. They worked extra hard for it, Connor. They went for it, and then they still failed. The hold was too good. Rez was too nice. Those headshots, super clean, and he's up to 25. I mean, he's been a hero for NiP on the server.
A single-handed difference maker.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I thought to myself, just kind of pumping the brakes a bit before that retake got rolling. Like, I didn't anticipate them to get many frags, and yet Rez gets a couple out of nowhere. So Astralis definitely playing off of the back foot. I mean, this could very easily be a loss. They've got a scout and an AK to try to work with. 2 CZs and a Deagle. They are still going to play safely back, at least over towards the playground. Again, an additional round where they anticipate some kind of an aggression, but it is nowhere to be found. NiP are going to keep things cool, calm, and collected in the 30th.
Basically an eco round here. Scout on device, Dupree, the entry man, but alone with his AK. Full spread as Astralis have started to work on the entire map, and nobody's here for a device to trade. So yeah, they get a lot of info, but that's a kill they can't get back.
Oh, not to mention Glaive, who's attempting to close this distance, is challenged by Rez, who you'd think wants to keep himself alive. And sure enough, he will fade away into the safety of the A site. All the while, Astralis get closer step by step. Piece by piece, ready to hit this A site. Or at least that's the fake they're trying to sell. Yet again, they will change directions off of the utility, head down into B, and they will be met by a stellar defense. Get right up into the heavens. We've got Lekro within the pit, Forrest supporting from Graffiti. These positions have been played so frequently by the Ninjas, and now they're starting to cut down the kills. Zipek's the only one for Astralis to find anything as of yet. 10 seconds left. Magisk manages a Deagle headshot out of nowhere, and the damage looks fantastic, but can he do it single-handed? They're already breathing down his neck, and that is Ninjas in Pajamas with a 30th round win. Astralis take a loss.
They do the impossible. That is such a big upset, a fantastic performance